everyone, welcome back to another Martin's Home and Garden Houseplant of the Week. This week we're talking about a super trendy plant right now. This is called the whalefin Sansevieria, also called the Sansevieria masoniana. Don't know if I pronounced that right. But these guys are super cool. They're native to Central Africa, where very close to the equator, so it's very hot, very dry. They get their name from the shape of their leaves. They're shaped like whale fins. They also have a super unique variegation on the leaves that's a dark green with kind of a silvery light green markings that favors whale skin as well. These are super low maintenance and easy plants because they are pretty drought tolerant, so you can kind of just set them and forget them, and they look nice all the time. And they only get about 2 to 4 feet tall, so it's a little bit shorter than your typical Sansevieria, which makes them nice as well if you're wanting something that doesn't get super huge. So if you want to know how to care for this super popular plant right now, we are going to show you how to today. First thing we'll talk about is the lighting requirements. These guys do best in a bright indirect light. They're going to thrive the best in a bright indirect light, and their markings on their leaves will stand out and kind of shine more if they have a little bit more light. They are known for thriving in lower light conditions as well. With these guys, this particular Sansevieria, their coloring on their leaves will kind of fade a little bit and it won't stand out as much if they're in low light for long periods of time. So a bright indirect light is definitely going to be best for these. Another thing to note is to avoid direct sun with these plants. It will burn the leaves if they start looking kind of bleached, like a really light brown, and they're crunchy. That is probably sunburn, so you have it in too much sun. So just bring it back probably a foot or two, and that should keep your plant from getting sunburned more. The next thing we'll talk about, and the most important part for the care of this plant, is watering. So you want to water these whenever the top 2 inches of soil is dry. Like I said, they are from Central Africa. They're used to more dry conditions. They don't get as much rain. So overwatering can be a problem with these. If you tend to overwater your plants, this guy you're going to want to be really, really careful about that with. Let them dry out completely between waterings. And then another thing to mention with watering is fertilizer. These guys do really well with just the nutrients that's in the soil, so you really don't have to worry about giving them any extra fertilizer or food. But if you do want to fertilize your plants, if that's your thing, fertilize them when they're actively growing, most likely in the spring and summer. And you can use something like this. This is Jack's Classic All-Purpose 20-20-20 fertilizer, and you're going to want it to dilute it to half strength, just so it's not too strong and overwhelming for the plant. So that's a really good one for these guys. But like I said, you don't have to worry about it too much for them otherwise. The next thing we'll talk about is humidity. These guys are super, super low maintenance, and they're not fussy about humidity. Since they are from a more dry climate, the conditions of your home, an air-conditioned room, is going to be perfect for these guys. Don't need any kind of extra humidifiers. You don't have to worry about misting these plants. These are going to be your super low maintenance houseplant. So humidity is not going to be super crazy to worry about with these guys. Another thing to mention while we're on the topic of humidity is that these guys are on NASA's list of top air purifiers for your home. So these, more than other houseplants, will put out more oxygen, and they're better at purifying the air than some other houseplants. So that's a cool little fun fact about these guys. Last thing we'll talk about today is the soil for these plants. These guys want a super well draining mix. I like the Proganics Indoor mix is what we like to pot up all of our houseplants with. It's super good. If you don't have access to that, another good option is to get any kind of indoor mix and then add in some extra perlite. This is the Espomo Organic Perlite. Mixing like 2 parts soil and then 1 part perlite is going to be perfect. Perlite works to kind of increase the aeration and increase the drainage in your soil so that your plant doesn't stay as moist for as long. And with root rot and overwatering being kind of a problem for these guys sometimes, extra perlite is going to help a lot. But that is really all we have for you guys for this video. I hope you liked this. I hope you go out and look for a whalefin Sansevieria because they're super popular right now, and we will see you guys next week. Bye!